Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Jennifer Gamble with Next Level Guitar, and we're here today to bring you some blues. So, we've all heard the blues before. We've heard it in rock and roll, we've heard it in all types of music. It's very educational to learn the blues because you can play all kinds of music once you learn the basic blues progression, and we're going to show you different modifications off of your straightforward 1-4-5 blues progression, okay? So, to start with, I just want to say that I came out here today thinking, what guitar am I going to bring down here? And, you know, if I could have gone out to my favorite music store and picked a guitar off the shelf, I probably would have grabbed a Fender Strat, but I decided to bring out my, my Parker, which I got about 5 years ago, and a good friend of mine bought me this guitar. He was a big fan. Hi, Steve. How you doing out in Wisconsin? And thanks for the guitar. I'm still loving it. So, so if
they want to get you guitar, is that cool?
Yeah, they can get me a guitar anytime.
Right on.
And you know what? You can play the blues on acoustic guitars as well. So, you know, acoustic, electric, whatever. Bring it on. So, this Parker works just fine for the blues, I think, you know. And for slide, whatever you want to play on it. We're going to do a few blues riffs. We're going to start with a very basic one. We're going to build up on that and then show you some Muddy Waters kind of licks, and the hoochie coochie is what it's called, the hoochie coochie lick, and you've heard that one before, I'm sure. So let's get started. Lick I'm going to show you, I showed this to my daughter today. She's 11 years old and she was playing this, okay? Very simple to do for the very basic beginners. Even if you've never picked up a guitar before, you could do this, okay? So you're basically going to be doing, we're going to be doing the 1-4-5 blues in the key of A. So we want to put our first finger at the 5th fret of our low E string. So I'm going to call this the 6th string, okay? So we've got 6 strings on our guitar. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the highest one is the first string. That's the high E. So we're going to place our first finger at the 5th fret, right in the middle, on our A. That's our A note. Okay, that's our #1 note in the scale, our A. And then we're going to place our 3rd finger on the string right next to it, the 5th string, at the 7th fret. And we're only going to play those 2 notes. That's what we call a power 5th, okay? 2-note chord. It's really simple. Okay? So, what I want you to do if you're a complete beginner is just get your fingers in position and make sure you got those 2 notes ringing out. With your pick, my daughter said, how do I hold a pick, you know? Just place it down on your first finger and pinch it with your thumb, and then rest your palm right there on your strings and pluck down. Try not to hit the other strings, okay? Just hit those 2 low strings and get that down. So you want this kind of rhythm pattern, just like, okay, so you're just doing da 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 da. Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Every time you pick, you're just plucking downward in a downward motion, okay? So every time it's you're going down, 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 down with your pick, okay? And then we're just going to take that same finger pattern that we've got right there, the first finger and the 3rd finger, and right now we're on the 1 of the chord progression, okay? It's called 1-4-5 because we're using our 1st chord, our 4th chord, and our 5th chord, okay? So if we're in the key of A, if we think of the scale, it's A, B, C, D is our 4th, and E is our 5th, okay? So we're going to go A, D, E. So we're going A. We want to move go up to our D. So we're going to take that whole thing over 2 strings. We're going to want to take this whole thing over a string. So our first finger moves up to the next string over, which is our 5th string. So we've got, and then back again. And we want to get up to our E string. So we're going to take, we're not moving our fingers, they're in the same pattern, okay? The same kind of formation. And we're going to move over 1 string and up 2 frets. And when I say up, that means up higher on the guitar to the higher notes. So towards the bridge, okay? E, D, and back to A. Okay, that's our first progression. Okay, so I'm gonna do what I just showed you, the 1, 4, 5, real slow, and see if you can do it with me. I'll kind of count it for you as we go. And if you can't, if you're a real beginner and you can't do the changes yet, just stay on the first chord, on the A chord, okay? And we'll start with our picking pattern. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. Back to the first. Do it again. To our 4th. Back to the 1st. And we're going to go up to the 5th. To the 4th. And back to the 1st. One more time. All right, and I got to teach you the walk-up, what we call the turnaround chord. So I'll do that. Let me teach you the turnaround chord, and then we'll play the whole thing together again, okay? So when we want to, with the blues, sometimes it just keeps going and keeps going forever. You could keep going forever with the turnaround chord. So what the turnaround chord is, once you get back to that A at the end, you do a little, and that leads you into the next round, okay? So all you do is start on your 4th, your D note, and you play those 2 strings, go up 1 fret, and up 1 more fret to your 5th. Okay? Just do them real slow. And that leads you back to the 1st. Okay? So let's do it all together again one more time. From the beginning, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th. 1st. Stay there. 4th. Stay there. 1st. 5th.